Yeah, I should be out in Springfield, Massachusetts right now as I was planning this day for, I don't know, my last 15 years of my life, and they screwed up the schedule change on me, so I wasn't able to make it out there. But I'll be tuning in. Hence, I'm repping Kobe's jersey today, and yeah, KG is my guy, my favorite player all time, and Kobe's right behind him. So it's a pretty meaningful day for me.
Oh yeah, I can see that, especially being a Minnesota fan or whatnot. I mean, he's an important factor of even like your lifetime. You know, you grew up,
dude.
You were raised
the sole
in the
reason,
KG era.
He is my reason that I'm here right now. That's for sure.
That's what's up. So he's the one that brought in your love to basketball?
Oh, yeah. Yep. There's no other reason besides it, to be honest. I mean, I liked playing the game as a kid, but where I fell in love with the NBA is KG. I mean, I was going to the games as a 5-6-year-old when he first came in, and I remember all those shitty teams we went through, and then he brought our glory years, and we haven't been back to out of the first round since 2004 when he left us. Pretty awful.
That is true. That is
the worst franchise in sports.
As of right now, well, you know what? Speaking of which, you know what? That's actually a good thing to start with. The sale of the team. So it looks like Glenn Taylor's going to go ahead and sell the franchise to an organization that includes Alex Rodriguez. What's your thoughts on them making the purchase of this team?
Yeah, everybody always asks me because it's such a random group of guys and a baseball player coming in. But at the end of the day, I mean, these are business guys. I mean, they're not – their whole job, I mean, is to make business moves. You know, they're in the business of making money. And they're competitors. I mean, A-Rod's a competitor. He obviously wanted any sports team. I'm sure he would have preferred a baseball team, but has a great business partner that probably, I'm not sure Mark Lowry's love of basketball, but it's got to be there. I mean, most people don't purchase teams unless they love the sport, especially a team that you're not guaranteed to make a ton of money on, but there's a good chance you're going to make good money on because I mean, Minnesota definitely will have years where they can lose money and whatnot, but I mean, at the end of the day, the sale price went up. Like, if you had looked at Forbes 2-3 years ago, we're probably looking at 600, 700 million. He sold it for 1.5 Bs, so that's why you buy and sell these teams, just because of that end number, and people just keep thinking it's going to go up, and I mean, it hasn't proved otherwise. So until that point, you got to be in that business, and it's just exponential growth for sure. But it's all about who these guys are going to hire, and I'm not worried about them moving the team at all. But the only thing that's ever been kind of close, I mean, there's no way of guaranteeing they don't move the team, but the perfect example of shady business dealings is your local team there in Oklahoma City. I mean, that's the number one culprit, I'd say, from Seattle to OKC. But you knew from the beginning those guys were Oklahoma City guys. You know, you had a good feeling like they made. I mean, as much as they shook hands on the surface, I mean, yeah, these guys, their whole, if you looked way back into the lineage, their whole goal was to bring a sports franchise to OKC and whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, the guy got rich out in Seattle, and I mean, when you're that rich, I mean, you're probably not going to be that tied to many communities unless it's a smaller one like Oklahoma City. I mean, that guy's all over the. Yes, he's come out and said Schultz, the guy who sold the team, has came out and said he has regrets a little bit, but Minnesota, being it's a smaller community, I mean, it's one of the smaller states, and Glenn Taylor, our owner, is really tied to the community. Right. He would not be making it out very good if this team left. So we'll see how it plays out, but that's definitely not something I'm going to be worried about. So I'm super excited because our ownership's been garbage for a long time, as we've been the worst franchise in sports for a while now. So maybe this can turn us around.
I can totally see that, and it's coming at an interesting time to me because I know that Glenn's been wanting to sell, been wanting to get out the business. Like you said, when you purchase a team, he bought it for $44 million. Franchises are basically here for not really to make money today, but to make money when you sell it later. This is more of a hobby. Initially, it was built as a hobby. Now that all of these hedge fund guys are getting in there, they're making them more businesses and running them in that nature. But I feel like it's more interesting, especially because the new TV deal is about to come up in 2-3 years. And I think the fascinating thing behind it that he didn't wait, because I was reading a report on NBC Sports that the NBA can potentially command between $70 to $75 billion for the next 10-year TV deal. The last deal was 24.6.
Right.
And it's mainly because of how international the game has gotten. So I think it's really interesting that he went ahead and just pulled the trigger now, because he must really want to get out. Because if you waited till then, that organization's net worth is going to jump up at least to $2.5 billion. Just because of how big of a TV deal you guys have. So that's interesting to see that didn't go down.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what that number is. And I don't think America is going to be the one holding up that number a ton. But, it's the international push. And now with the awards coming up, you got these conspiracy guys coming out. And like last year, there's so many guys that what was it, last year or maybe this, whatever, but all these international players were winning awards. Okay, or it was the year Luka won rookie. It was the year Luka won rookie of the year, but at the same time, those guys deserved it. Like Pascal Siakam was the most improved player. Exactly, and so you got conspiracy theorists coming out with Jokic right now, and but it's a landslide. It's not even close.